Coming up on today's video, Gold Rush 3 officially leaked, and we've got more results from Fusion. Let's get into it. If you guys didn't see the news, Lethmir was playing with Rizzo on stream and ended up leaking some information in regards to Gold Rush 3, and Reddit is having a field day with it. Take a listen to the clip.
I don't know.
I believe they put something out that it's gonna be happening, so I'm free to say this, but I'm gonna be creating, like, have you ever watched Mario Maker, like those races that they do?
Lethmir does it again, but no, it has not been announced officially, but Gold Rush 3 is supposedly happening, and there's still a little bit more to this. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to watch more of the video of what's going on, but Lethmir talks about how he's possibly making a map where the players in Gold Rush, what they're going to end up doing is having a team, and that team is going to have to try to do something similar to a dribble challenge, to where they will try to get through the course as far as possible, and if they drop the ball or have a death, they have to hand the controller to someone else in their team, and it becomes like a relay race with the teams against each other. Should be really cool and exciting to watch. Looking forward to more Gold Rush in the future. If you guys don't know what Gold Rush is, highly recommend going back and checking out some of the VODs. It's basically an event that was based off of BTS, or Beyond the Summit, that we all enjoyed thoroughly for the laid-back style of casting, stuff like rock, paper, scissors competitions, as well as crew battles that you're seeing in the Fusion now. Speaking of Fusion, we got some updates based upon the results from earlier in the day. Also, if you guys enjoy the fact that there's a camera here in this area instead of a blank canvas, let me know. We can do one or the other. I'm just kind of experimenting for things, and a lot of it is kind of a good balance of information being provided on the screen as well as that face-to-face interaction. First matchup was casted by myself and Leaf, and it was the 3v3 between Rogue and Stromboli. Gotta say, I am loving what I'm seeing out of Rogue right now. Taking a look at the results, even though it shows pretty heavily in favor of Rogue with a 4-0 sweep, it was a much closer match than what people expected. Rogue was just playing really clean, a lot of back passes and capabilities of them doing the things that you can't really teach a player, and I think that's what excites me. As Turnturo and First Killer get more and more comfortable, we actually saw Kronovi having a really large impact in this game, putting away shots, having the capability to go for some solo plays, as well as create passes and opportunities. There was times where Kronovi even was giving himself space on the sidewalls and faking a challenge to pinch it into midfield that led into a goal. So a lot of really exciting moments that we saw from this tournament all around. Big thing from Stromboli here, even though they performed better in the closed qualifiers, Rogue here is looking like a dominant force moving forward. Curious to see if they can continue this level of intensity as they play against more and more tough competition. The big one to pay attention to is they're going to be playing either Envy or Vision in a couple days. Big thing with this as well is Rogue does put themselves in first place in the current standings due to already having a win in the 2v2 bracket. If you guys are unaware on how the point system works, I recommend taking a look at the Liquipedia page, as always, which will be in the description, as well as just kind of pay attention to the Fusion RL tournament page, where it details all the information on how points are gained and earned. Overall in the series, it looked like Stromboli just had a rough time kind of catching their footing and were overwhelmed on a lot of different facets. They also gave up a lot of goals due to simple mistakes that they really shouldn't be, but they have a tough time of trying to slow it down and play when demos and stuff are getting constantly involved. There was a lot of chippiness to Rogue's playstyle, which was a great way for mix-up. A lot of it was pass plays and controls, but they also aren't afraid to fight dirty if they need to. Again, these are best to 7s and single eliminations, so Stromboli's out and Rogue advances. Over to the 2v2s, Space Station ended up playing Divine today. Started off with a very aggressive start from Divine, but then slowly devolved into Sypical and Arsenal doing what we expected, being dominant. Sypical had a really good start throughout the entire series, and that continued, while Arsenal took a little bit to get going and then eventually became more of an aggressor and kind of falling into his 3 roots. I think my most important take from this entire series was that you could really tell that Arsenal and Sypical are no longer this really tandem 2s that we've seen in the past. They have definitely a distinctive 3s oriented playstyle, but despite that, they're still able to take 2's approach. A lot of the reason why I think they won is simply because of Sypical. Being able to take a solo play with Sypical and set up a double touch or a flip reset or something in front of the net just makes it super easy for Arsenal to come in and close it off. Either way, Divine got overwhelmed, and unfortunately for them, as they are eliminated from the 2v2 bracket as Space Station moves on. Next match will be on May 29th for Space Station and Rogue in the 2v2, so we got a little bit of a wait, but that should be a good one with First Killer and Turnturo going up against Arsenal and Sypical. Gonna be a slugfest. Last but not least, 72 pin connector versus Stromboli. We had Lion Blaze going up against Alpha Cap. This is one I said I was going to be glued to, and I'm glad I was. This one was a really good showcase about ones is all about. Did go to the distance all the way to 7 despite varying results, but it's felt like games were being stolen from both players in ways that we did not expect. Started off really aggressive, and surprisingly enough, it looked like AlphaCep had the advantage. He came in as a clear underdog in this series, and part of the reason why is Lionblaze definitely has that one focus, and I think that was the telling statement of this entire series. Lionblaze knows the ability of how to adapt and punish another player and doesn't go for the same things. My biggest complaint about watching AlphaCep in this is he just did not know how to adapt. And he kept falling into Lionblaze's kind of playstyle of sticking close, applying pressure, and just being in their face to make sure they can't do things. Where AlphaCep on offense just went for air dribbles with bumps to kind of give him that go-ahead goal. The difficulty with that is it became very easy for Lionblaze to read this. He challenged extremely early, got in the face of it, and as soon as he went for an air dribble off the ground, you almost always saw Lionblaze attack it immediately. And AlphaCep never really changed it up. So it became very telegraphed and very easy for Lionblaze to punish. I will say that if AlphaCep knew how to better adjust in a 1v1 playstyle, he could be a very dangerous player, and he performed extremely well. I mean, going to 7 against Lionblaze is not an easy thing to do. But the number one thing, if he is listening or if he is watching, I highly recommend what he does is take power shots. Lionblaze gave you a lot of space on those, and if you have that space, don't be afraid to just rocket a shot top left and top right, because your accuracy was deadly. Numerous times shots perfectly placed bottom left, a far post away from the play development to make it to where he's able to get a goal. Utilize your strengths, man. A lot of really good accuracy, and if he's giving you that space, power shots are going to do it. And even if they don't go in, that's forcing him out of position to go for a save, expend boost. You can deny the corner and put it right back in. He did that to you quite a few times, specifically with a ceiling shot. I think it was in like game 3 or 4 towards the end. A lot of ones is about forcing your opponent to do things and putting them in rough positions. Lionblaze is really good at it. I'm really looking forward to who he plays next. Scheduled for the 27th is going to be Space Station versus Divinity in the 3v3. That'll start at 3 p.m. Eastern. Following that, in the 2v2 will be 72 Pin Connector versus Vision. And following that, in the 1v1 will be Affinity versus Envy. Magic Bear versus Reddles, and that is going to be a treat. So make sure you guys tune into that one. Short and sweet for y'all, trying to make it as digestible as possible. But with that said, there will be some major news coming in the week. So a little bit of a sprinkle of a teaser there. Also, if you guys didn't see it, we announced the Brawl After movie as it was edited by Doomsy. That video is now out on my YouTube channel. Recommend going back to check that. Otherwise, I'll link it at the end of the video for you guys as all. But that does it for me. I'm out of here. If you guys have made it this far, greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys thumbs up, like the video as it helps me out greatly, as well as subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already. We'll see you next time. Peace.